Hey guys, executive producers here. Maher and Ali are off on a special assignment this week. They're fired. So we're going to be hosting instead.
They're not actually fired. We really appreciate the work that Ali and Maher do, and they are great hosts of the show. They're genuinely doing something different this week.
Yeah, and I also don't think we actually have the power to fire them. Trust me, I've tried. So, Olivia, what do we have on the schedule for this week?
Well, Caitlin is going to start off by interviewing some members of Spectrum Club who are going to tell us about a mural that they're planning on painting.
Oh, well, that sounds like fun. All right, on to you, Caitlin.
Last weekend, I chatted with Spectrum leader ROSHAN to talk about what Spectrum is, the club's upcoming project, and whether she had any words for LGBT plus students.
Spectrum is a club whose aim is to create like a safe environment for the LGBTQ plus community and students of all gender identities and sexualities. But we're open to everyone, including allies, and we do like discuss LGBTQ plus topics, issues, perspectives, and we meet on Mondays at lunch. And if anyone's interested, they should email me or anyone else they know who's in Spectrum for a link. Yeah, so the club has designed a mural whose message is about including everyone, and everyone is welcome at uni no matter their identity. So we're going to put it up on the second floor above the unused double doors of the library, so like right in the middle of the hallway. And we really hope that this sends a message of like welcoming and inclusivity to everyone, and hopefully like students for years to come can like know that there's a place for them at uni even if they're struggling, because everyone is welcome, and know that Spectrum is also there for them. We haven't started painting yet because we're currently getting we sent in like a health plan and we're getting that approved so we can go in the building. And so we're hoping to be done in the spring, at least by the end of the year, so that like next year people can come and see it. Hopefully we'll be in person by then. But it's all complicated by the fact that we're remote, so we're doing the best we can to do it as fast as we can. We hope to start in early November. Yeah, I just want to say that people are struggling. Like you're loved and you're accepted, and there are people that support you and are so willing to support you if you reach out to anyone, and you're valid. There's nothing wrong with you, and there are all these ways to get support, and Spectrum is one of them. But if that's not an option, you can reach out to anyone who you love, or there are hotlines that you can reach out to, and we really want to make sure this school is inclusive and also just welcoming.
Thank you, Caitlin.
You know, I love art. There's like shapes and lines and stuff. And then you put it on a wall and you look at it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know nothing about art at all.
I tried to draw a basketball once. It was really going well. I was drawing with my orange crayons, and then I realized that I like don't know what a basketball looks like with all the lines and stuff, and it was kind of a problem. But yeah.
Wow. What a convenient and completely unplanned transition into our next segment. So, here we have NABEEL, who's going to be interviewing Mr. BICKNELL about the upcoming basketball season. On to you, NABEEL.
So the games of the basketball season were recently canceled. So do you know who made that decision and why that decision was made to remove games from the season?
Sure. The our governor of the state of Illinois last week moved the sport of basketball into a higher risk category, and with that means that schools can only be at level 1 competition of play, and that means not playing other schools.
So then is the practice schedule going to be the same as it normally would be, like every day, or how's that changed?
Yeah, so our high school boys will be practicing Monday through Thursday and then Saturday for a couple hours in the morning. And our girls will be practicing Monday through Friday after school as well. And so as far as a normal practice schedule, yeah, it might be a little bit shorter time because there won't be any necessarily game preparation because there won't be any games against other opponents. But we're still going to spend a significant amount of time. I think I looked at the schedule yesterday, maybe between 60 and 65 practices.
So then, just last question, do you expect then less players to join, or have people pulled out, or more players joining, or what's the situation on that?
I think as of yesterday, we had about 15 or 16 girls and 15 or 16 boys so far. So, you know, over the last 5 years, maybe a little bit less, but you know, we don't get started till November 16th. So, you know, we're 10 days away from that. So there might be some more movement, but if we have between 15 or 20, it should be relatively normal with numbers.
Thank you, Mr. Bicknell. So, what do we have next?
Well, I was thinking, remember the days before we got an actual assignment when all we had to do was yell at other people to do their work?
Oh, yeah. That was great. And those really were the times.
Like just a few days ago, we were talking about what the college process looks like for seniors this year doing online school.
Is that what is coming up next? Oh dear. Well, roll the clip, I guess. On to you, past selves.
Well, it is nice that school is all online, and so it feels like we have more time and teachers have like a shorter amount of work that they can assign, which gives us more time to work on college things.
We don't have to do the SAT, ACT, all the fun standardized tests. I just straight up skipped all of those. And that's great. I don't want to go sit in a room for 3 hours with a bunch of other slightly sweaty teenagers and just, you know, fill in bubbles. Not my idea of a good time.
Yeah, it's actually been really hard, at least for me personally, and I've talked to other students who said the same thing, that we have to stare at a computer screen for like 5 hours every day, and then on top of that, work on college apps via like a computer because we're typing everything.
I personally haven't had that problem. It's probably, though I guess that's kind of because I already spent 12 hours a day on the computer. But no, I can definitely see I'm messing people up. Also, we don't get to visit schools, which completely sucks. Like, that's one of the main things that's you do in the college process.
Yeah, and it's hard, like you can get an idea of what a school looks like from a virtual tour, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, no, it's nowhere
You
near
can't
the same.
ask questions.
Yeah, like, you know, you get the vibe. There's like the in-person vibe, but it just, you don't get that over Google Maps or whatever. How's that been going?
Well, it's been really helpful to spend a lot of time with my family and my dog specifically because she's very good at making me feel better about life. But then also just like I've worked really hard to create a really good study space in my room, which makes it easier for me to focus and just makes me feel more productive and then actually be more productive.
That's always nice. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really been doing much. I'm too lazy to, you know, like actively try to reduce my stress, but then I become stressed about the fact that I've not reduced my stress. And yeah, basically I just procrastinate, and then I have like a period of 2 or 3 days where I'm super stressed and freaking out, and then it passes, and then, you know, I go back to procrastinating. So, not the healthiest method, but it's worked so far.
Yeah.
I guess don't stress about it so much
Don't.
because
This is true.
it seems like everyone spent a lot of like junior year or even before junior year like stressing about, oh, what am I going to do about my college applications? I want to get this done, this done, this done. But in the end, like, you don't know what will happen. Like, we had COVID hit, and like I'd kind of just been pushing off the tests, and now suddenly I don't have to do them, and it's not going to negatively impact me. So like, why bother doing all that work way beforehand when you don't know what's going to happen? And also, you're going to change so much by the time like the actual stuff comes around.
I feel like it's kind of similar, but just the idea of like, it's not the end of the world. Like, no matter what happens, it's gonna end up being fine. And so you'll probably do better work on your college apps and like show a better side of you to the colleges you're applying to if you're not stressed when you're like doing your applications.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like mindset is a big part of making it an enjoyable or semi-enjoyable experience. Wow, that was fantastic. They really did a great job with that segment.
Speaking of things from the past, do you remember Agora days?
Yeah, that was a full week of not regular classes where you could learn about crazy stuff and have a lot of fun.
Yeah. You know, I actually taught an Agora class once. I wonder how they're going to be doing that this year.
Wow, funny you asked. Next up we have Colin talking about the Agora Committee's plans for this year.
Hey guys, it's Colin, and I'm excited to announce that it's the time of year to start submitting Agora Day classes. So with a new online format, it's a lot more flexible, and you're only limited to what you can do behind a camera. So that means cooking classes, since we're not constrained to the uni kitchen, there can be a lot more this year. And teachers can come from anywhere. So if you know any interesting people, please have them submit a course. So this year, the Agora Committee, which consists of students from sub-E grade to seniors, has been working really hard to come up with a good plan for this week. And one of the changes we made is that the week will only consist of 4 periods a day, of which 3 are required. And so in terms of the classes themselves, in the past we've had classes from Tetris all the way to like Native American culture. And so it's really up to you guys to find a good creative way to do those online this year. Submission deadline is November 30th. And if you have any questions, please contact Mr. Guyot at illinois.edu. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with.
Hey, have you heard about the election?
Yeah, I actually voted in it.
That's kind of crazy. What was it like?
Well, it wasn't that bad for me. I just had to like fill out a ballot and then send it in through the mail.
Well, here we have CAYLEE to go into a bit more detail about what the voting process looked like this year.
So as some of you may know, an important election just happened, but as some of you may not know, some of our seniors got to participate in it. Here are their stories.
Hello, my name is Neil and I recently voted in the 2020 election. So I was asked to talk about the voting process for me, and I decided to vote in person. And so I thought it was interesting. Before I even went to the polls, the first thing I did was I looked over the sample ballot I got. So it looks exactly like a real ballot. So after looking at the sample ballot, I decided I was good to go. Like, I could just go to the actual polls. And so once I went there, there were a lot of people there. Like, the polls were popping, and like, I don't know, I had to wait in line for like 45 minutes, something like that. And the actual process is really simple. So I just went up to a person who made sure I was registered. And so after she made sure I was registered, she put in my name into like a computer, and a printer just printed out like a poll or like a ballot just for me. And so I was handed the ballot, and then I go over to the polling booth, and then I just circle everything in, and it's pretty simple.
Yeah, so my 18th birthday was on election day, so I was eligible to vote both in the primaries and in the general in Illinois. So in March, I voted in person at the union in the primary, and then I decided to do mail-in voting for the general election because I wanted to be safe with COVID. So I went on the Secretary of State's website and ordered a ballot. Since I'd already registered for the primaries, it was pretty easy, and I got my ballot in early October, and then I just filled it in and sent it back. Illinois is generally a pretty easy state to vote in, and it's constructed well. You don't, in other states, you need to like get signatures and stuff of witnesses, but in Illinois, I just got my ballot sent to me. I put it in an envelope with the stamp and I sent it back.
I also voted. I chose the mail-in ballot, but I turned it in person, so I got to walk past the huge lines of people and just turn in my ballot there, and so that's what happened. Stay cool, kids.
Man, that's crazy. I wonder who's gonna win.
Let's not get into politics right now. How about we transition to a safer subject like Scholastic Bowl?
Oh, we actually have an interview with them up next.
Hey, thank you both for joining us. Appreciate you giving us some of your time. Very excited about this year's Scholastic Bowl team. We've had a great run for the last couple of years, but graduation last year doesn't seem to have affected the success of the team so far. Can you tell us a little bit about how the team's doing this year?
There haven't really been any in-person tournaments because of COVID-19, but we have been able to participate in several online tournaments recently. The novice, our newer players played in a statewide novice tournament, and they won one of our teams won second, so that was really impressive.
Actually, the first place team was playing illegally, so they would have won had not been for that.
The main sort of A team, we attended a nationwide like high school mirror of this college set, and we won first place, so that was really impressive, and we were competing against many of like the top teams in the nation. I know a lot of people, like you said, like weren't sort of expecting us to retain like much of the success we had in the past because of like graduation and stuff, but hopefully I think we've shown that we have a lot of potential, and not just within like the main like A team, but like we have a lot of up and coming players, and hopefully we can continue to be a very successful club.
So in 2019, we placed second and third at the national championships. Then the following year, we were ranked number 1 in the country, but it was canceled. So now we lost like 3 out of 4 of our varsity players because of graduation. And so like a lot of people, they just assume like, oh, uni is a small school. We don't like, they assume that we like don't have any people to replace them. And they just assumed we would just like fall off the spotlight forever, basically. But obviously that's not really been true. We due to our performance at the tournament that Lawrence mentioned, we were ranked 7th in the country recently, which is pretty impressive. A lot of the really good teams still haven't played actual tournaments yet, but that pretty much solidifies our place still in that upper group of teams.
So Larry, the last question I got for you guys, you guys have 3 teams currently, did you say? Or 3 or 4 teams? How can other people that are interested in joining possibly get involved with you guys?
Right, so we're open, like it's never too late to join Scholastic Bowl. Even if you're like a junior or senior, like we'd be happy to have you on the team. Right now, actually, we're sort of underclassmen heavy, but which is promising, but we definitely appreciate a couple more upperclassmen, and we're also open to subbies. So basically anyone can join. I know we sent out a couple emails about joining, but you can always like email one of us or anything, and we will be happy to add you onto the Discord server for the team. Right now we don't really have like set teams. We just sort of bring people to tournaments, but right now I'd say we have like 25 active members.
How do you think we did?
I don't think we did too badly. Do you think we should let Maher and Ali back on?
I mean, was kind of a lot of work.
Yeah, it was. Well, we'll see. Tune in next time to find out for sure. Executive producers, out.